They say the deepest secrets are not buried beneath mountains or hidden in distant temples, but within reach of your hands, hidden in the most everyday gestures, and you repeat them every day, unaware that you are touching the door of an ancient power. And if I were to tell you that by washing your face in the morning, you cleanse not only your skin but also your soul, and if the simple act had its roots in ancient rituals of wise men who understood the hidden structure of the universe, and if every drop of water that touches your skin, salt crystal melted with it, was a tool of energetic transmutation, what you are about to discover is neither a beauty trick nor a viral superstition. It is a silent ritual from times when body, mind, and spirit were not separate things, when the face was not just a mask we show to the world, but a sacred card, a mirror of the soul, a vibrating antenna that captures and emits energy, and this mirror becomes dirty with emotions that you cannot express with words, that you have swallowed with glances, that you have. The subtle dust of every interaction, every thought, every judgment. The ancients already knew this. They knew that the face must be cleansed not only from the outside, but also from the inside. And they did it with two primal elements, water and salt, not by chance, but through interaction. Because water flows, it carries it away, purifies it. Because salt protects, it elevates it. Together they form a code, a sacred formula. Hermes Trismegistus, the sage who understood that above equals below, taught that every ritual must begin with cleansing, but not just a ritual. Cleansing, any that opens subtle channels, that awakens consciousness, that aligns the body with its purpose. The face was the starting point because what you show to the world begins with what you wear. This video will not only teach you how to wash your face with water and salt, but will also reveal why this gesture can alter your energy. It will guide you through its esoteric origin, its symbolic power, and its effects on your energy field, offering you a practical guide to integrating this sacred act into your daily life. If you are here, it is no coincidence that it is something in. You are ready to remember. Prepare yourself. Everyday life will become sacred, and your face will be the first altar since time immemorial. Water and salt are not just elements of nature, but living principles, guardians of the invisible, keepers of the gates that connect the physical world with the subtle. To understand the power of washing your face with water and salt, we must abandon the modern view that reduces everything to matter and utility. We must return to seeing the world as the ancients did, as a web of symbols. Life where every substance has a soul and every daily action is a key that unlocks hidden realities. In Egypt, the cradle of the mysteries and hermetic wisdom, purification rituals were the first step to access the sacred world. No initiate approached the gods or began a deep meditation without first purifying themselves with mineral-rich water. The salt between them was not a hygienic act, but a magical act, a reordering of the vibrational field. Hermes Trismegistus, central figure of the Western esoteric thought, taught that the body is the temple of the soul and that every spiritual transformation begins with conscious contact with the elements. Facial cleansing was considered an act of energetic reprogramming, a way to lift the veil imposed daily by the world, to see again with the eyes of the spirit. But Egypt was not alone in this wisdom. In Hebrew tradition, the ritual baths of the Mig contained flowing water mixed with natural salts to restore purity after moments of exhaustion. Of spiritual impurity in the Vedas of India, salt was considered a sacred substance that could absorb bad energies, and water was called Appa, symbol of the divine feminine, that which gives life and also purifies. For the ancient Greeks, salt was a gift from Poseidon, the god of the sea, and a symbol of ancestral wisdom. The philosopher Empedocles spoke of water as one of the four eternal elements from which all things are made, including the human soul. In his teachings, the combination of water with other elements in a direct dialogue with the secret structure of the cosmos. Already in the Gothic Gospels, there is the idea that the human face is the living reflection of their inner light and must therefore be purified, like an altar is intentionally purified with salt water. The face is the point of contact between the inner and the outer. It is here that the soul is projected, and it is here that the imprint of experiences is imprinted. In many shamanic cultures, energetic purifications begin in the face. It is the place where the soul is exhaled and absorbed, The looks, the intentions, the judgments, so washing the face with water and salt is neither a superstition nor a spiritual fashion. It is an ancient practice born from the deep understanding that the body, and especially the face, needs to be de-stressed and recalibrated, because if the body is a temple, then the face is the threshold, and every true ritual begins at the door. Let us think for a moment about the face not as skin muscles or features, but as a living symbol. The face is the stage where the soul expresses itself, and, at the same time, the mask, in which unresolved emotions accumulate, is an energetic interface, a door between our inner self and what the world projects onto us. Like any door, it must be opened, closed, and cleansed every day as we encounter the world. Our face functions as a protective shield, but also as a sponge that absorbs glances, gestures, tensions, and even thoughts that do not belong to us. A frown that does not originate from us, a gesture that is not born of our truth. Little by little, the face becomes an archive of the unspoken, and like any saturated archive, it begins to distort. That is why water and salt are not applied randomly. Each fulfills a function within the rite. Water is more than a liquid. It is the universal feminine principle, the symbol of the soul in motion, of emotional flow. Its receptive structure responds to human intention, as Masurumoto studies show. When we touch our face with water charged with intention, we not only cleanse, we reprogram. The water carries memories, but also can release them. Salt, on the other hand, is the crystal of the earth. It is pure geometry, a solid structure that absorbs, orders, and transforms. It is a symbol of the earth element in its most luminous form. It absorbs density, repels invading energies, and restores vibrational patterns. In alchemy, it is considered a vehicle of transmutation, a container of mineralized solar energy. Water and salt together form a sacred binomial, the principle of the liquid and the solid, the purifying and the protecting, the attracting and the structuring. It is reconciled duality. When you apply this mixture to your face, you are not washing your face, but activating a spiritual technology, harmonizing what has disrupted the world. The ritual begins with preparing the bowl, not like someone filling a glass, but rather like someone incanting. Use a ceramic or glass container. Avoid plastic as it doesn't retain energy. Fill it with warm, not hot, water. The intermediate temperature symbolizes the point of balance between the active and the passive. Add sea salt or Himalayan salt. Never refined, it has lost its soul, and now the key gesture: bring the water to your face with your hands, but do it with presence. It is not about refreshing yourself. It is about marking a portal. Close your eyes, breathe, feel the invisible begin to move, what you do not see, but has always been there. Foreign energies, borrowed thoughts, memories of the previous day. Visualize the water coming out like a vibrating caress. Feel the emotional residue leave, how your subtle field is rearranged. This action, although simple in appearance, is an affirmation. I free myself, I purify myself, I return to myself, and here something fundamental happens. When the face is cleansed, it begins to reflect a new truth. It is no longer just the sum of learned gestures or inherited emotions. It becomes a polished mirror, and when this mirror is clear, it begins to attract another reality. Other people, synchronized situations, opportunities that vibrate at your new frequency. Washing your face every morning with water and salt is like rebooting the system. It is like concluding the energetic session of the night and open a clean channel today. Hermes said that every initiate should begin the day as if it were the first. And for this, the face should be cleansed not only of dust but also of history. Once the ritual of washing the face with water and salt is begun with intention, a deeper transformation begins than most expect, because this gesture affects not only the surface of the body, not only cleansing physical impurities or releasing accumulated tension in the facial muscles, but also influencing the perception of identity. The way we inhabit the world, the face is not only what we show, it is also what we filter through our eyes, through our mouth. Through the skin of our face, we not only absorb light, but also the projections of others' judgmental looks, other people's desires, other people's emotions. In esoteric language, these are psychological burdens, and yes, they stick. You can't see these burdens, but you feel them like a discomfort when you wake up, like a gesture that you don't recognize as your own in front of the mirror. Sometimes you look at yourself and don't see yourself, or you see a version of yourself. You, that is not clear, that is distorted by what you have allowed others to leave in you. And here is the depth. The face not only communicates outwards, it also reflects inwards what we project. We end up believing, If your face shows exhaustion, rigidity, and fear day after day, even if you don't say it, believe it, and when you believe it, live it. That is why cleaning your face with water and salt is not a superficial gesture but an act of regaining energetic sovereignty, of re-inhabiting yourself, of erasing traces that are not yours, that have become part of your gesture over time. When you cleanse your face with this ancestral mixture, you are actually dissolving masks and deactivating patterns that have been stuck without permission. This is one of the most ignored secrets of modern spirituality, that the body, and especially the face, is a magical mirror. But like any mirror, it can fog up and reflect a false image if it is covered with the dust of what has not been consciously lived. And here appears another hidden aspect of salt water: its ability to emotional memory stored in the body, because not only the heart stores emotions but also the muscles, the skin, and even the bones. Every time you swallow an emotion, every time you have kept something to yourself, it has been recorded in the micro-expression of your face. And what happens if you never release it? Believe it. Make it a part of you. The ritual, when done consistently, acts as a symbolic reboot. Consistency is key. It is not about doing it one day and waiting for miracles. It is about creating a new field by slowly creating a new, purer vibration, more yours, and over time, something begins to change. You notice that people perceive you differently, that your interactions are gentler, that certain negative situations no longer affect you as much. Not because the world has changed, but because you have rearranged your energy field. This is vibration in action. You will also notice that your dreams become clearer, that you have a mental clarity at the start of the day. A clean face becomes the symbol of a clear mind. The emotional burden that has built up in the forehead dissolves, the eyes seem more alive, not because of a physical change, but because the inner light begins to reflect without a filter. And finally, something even more subtle happens. You begin to feel that every time you perform the ritual, you are entering a sacred place. It is no longer the washing of your face, but you present yourself as someone entering a temple, and when you do it, you begin to remember everything: who you are, where you come from, what you were wearing that did not belong to you. And what you can let go of is that when water and salt cease to be objects and become masters, the true power of a ritual lies not in its complexity, but in its consistency and awareness. If the gesture of washing your face with water and salt has awakened something deep within you, do not leave it in theory. Transform it into an anchor, in a sacred habit, in a daily practice that marks the rhythm of your inner life. The first advice is: give the action its place and its time. Do not rush it. Do not mix it with the noise of the toothbrush or the hot coffee. Do it if your paths have not yet crossed with the world. Do it before you look at your phone, before you read the news, before you answer messages, because this moment is your first connection of the day, and it should be with yourself. Prepare the space. You don't need an altar, but you do need silence. If you can put a lit candle, let the fire be present as a witness. Fill a bowl with warm water, neither cold nor hot, and add a tablespoon of coarse salt. It can be sea salt, Himalayan salt, or even fleur de sel. Avoid refined salt. It has lost its geometry, its energy when you are in front of the mirror. Look with judgment. Do not try to correct or evaluate yourself. Simply observe yourself. Recognize the presence that is before you. This is your soul in human form. Take 3 deep breaths and feel the gravity of your body return to you to enter your face again. Take the water with both hands and gently pass it over your face. Close your eyes. Do not rub, slide. Do it as someone who blesses, as someone who honors, and as the water and the salt touch your skin, say silently or in a low voice, I release myself, I purify myself, I recognize myself. Do it 7 days in a row. At first, you may feel little, but by the 4th or 5th day, some tension will have eased. You may sleep better, breathe more deeply. You may notice a subtle shift in how others perceive you or in your self-image. Repeat this in the evening, if possible, especially after an emotionally stressful day. When you've been exposed to a lot of noise, lots of people, and lots of emotions, your face is like an antenna and needs rest. The salt will release the unpleasant sensations. The water will restore its moisture. You can also add a personal affirmation to your ritual that acts as an activation code. For example, my face reflects my truth, or I allow the foreign to dissolve and my essence to return. Use phrases that resonate with you and feel like keys. And perhaps most importantly, don't let this act become automatic. The magic disappears when the soul is absent. Keep the intention alive, even if only for a minute. Let it be your sacred moment. Remember that simplicity isn't weak, but pure, direct, and powerful. Make water and salt your allies. Daily not as superstition, but as a spiritual art, because every time you purify yourself with consciousness, you are telling the universe, I am awake, I am ready, I am in my center, and that transforms everything. We live in times in which the sacred seems to be reserved for old temples, for dusty texts, for words in forgotten languages. But the deepest truth is that the sacred is here now, in your body, in your face, in your breath, in the simplest gesture every morning when you wash your face. With water and salt, that is not. Custom is not aesthetics, not folklore, but the memory of being a temple, a portal, alchemy in motion. This ritual, inherited from the heart of the Hermetic schools, has endured for millennia not because it was imposed, but because it was felt. For when a practice touches the invisible fibers of the soul, it survives. It survives oblivion. It survives scholarship. It survives fashion. It remains as a silent seed, waiting to be rediscovered by those who are ready. And if you have come this far, you are one from them, because this was not just information, it was a transmission, a reactivation, a key that was sleeping in your energetic memory and that has awakened today. Do not ask yourself so many questions. Do not try to explain it. Just feel, observe what is moving inside you at this moment, the calm, the curiosity, the wonder that is also part of the ritual. Now you know that your face is not only what others see, it is also the mirror in which what you live, what you conceal, what you carry, is reflected, and that by cleansing yourself with water and salt you not only refresh yourself but also free yourself. No, you're simply removing dirt, creating clarity, allowing yourself to start from scratch. And in this fast-paced world, that's an act of inner revolution. Do it every morning, not out of a sense of obligation, but as an affirmation, a declaration of your sovereignty. You decide which energy comes in and which goes out. You decide with which face you meet the world, the one you inherited from chaos or the one you consciously created. And if this practice has already begun to vibrate within you, if you feel that something has opened, something has calmed, something has purified, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it. Send it to someone who needs it. Write in the comments, "My face is my temple and I am its guardian." Don't let this sentence be just text. Let it be your energetic signature, your vibrational seal. And if this inner journey has touched your soul, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and like this video so that together we can continue exploring these secrets that are forgotten but not lost. Because here every word is written with intention. Every video is a door, and you decide if you cross it, the water, and they will come out and wait for you in your. The kitchen mirror will still be there every morning. The only thing missing is your presence, and this dear guardian is the true magic.